Alrighty, welcome back, boys and girls. It's your main math man, Mr. Shane, coming to you live from Walker Graham Middle School. And in this one video, we're still working on that Math 7 SOL review, and we're working with 7.11 now. So we're talking about algebraic expressions for given replacement values. This is extremely simple using that Desmos calculator. It is just like when you are using those formulas. You type it in exactly as it looks, and then on a separate line define what those values are. So I will be using that Desmos calculator a lot during this video, so make sure you are following along. So now it gives you these values, and so now I can use those values for each of these expressions. Again, an expression is those terms, variables, and operations, but it does not have an equal sign. Again, the equation is including the equal sign, where an expression is just one side of that. So now I can define what those variables are. So it says when x equals -2, start a new line, hit enter, when y equals 4, and when z equals 16. I can now evaluate these expressions. Again, this is super simple. Make sure that you are practicing this for yourself. So I have z over y. Make sure you use those arrow keys on the keyboard to make sure you're in the next space. And so I need to have plus, and then I can say y, and then squared, and I can have minus x. So I'm going to say this is going to be 22. But now what I can do is I can clear out just this line, and it will save those values there. So super simple for ourselves. Notice that these are not ones or L's, that is the absolute value. So make sure that you can find that absolute value button on that Desmos calculator. Click on it, and you can kind of see, hey, it already starts it, and I have and can make what I need. So I have -y minus x, and I can have close that absolute value, and I can say divided by z. So it's going to be 0.125, which is the same. I can say that, hey, I notice that these answers are in fractions. However, my answer I got in Desmos is a decimal. So what I could do, maybe start a new line, and I could say, well, I think it's going to be 1/8, and I can prove it by just typing it in and double checking. So I'd say, yes, it is 0.125 is the same as 1/8. All right, moving on up. Let me do clear, and then clear. All right, very carefully type this in exactly as it looks. So I'm going to have square root of 16. Make sure that you hit the arrow key to the right, because if you notice, the cursor is still underneath of that square root sign, and so you have to hit it once to the right. And we're going to say now minus, and again you notice, hey, it starts looking exactly as what I need. I can say, all right, I'm going to use those parentheses. I'm going to say y, and then I have plus x. I can do parentheses, and then I have squared. Now I need to say, all right, I can highlight that part and say, hey, I need to divide it. I need to divide just that. Again, if you need to backspace and do all that stuff, that's totally fine. I can divide that by the absolute value of -2. So in total, it's going to be 2, and I am good. Again, this saves you a ton of time and a ton of workspace. That way you don't have to worry about it whatsoever. All right, so let me hit clear. And so now what I can do is this. I can type these in exactly as they look. I'm looking for when it equals -2. So if it doesn't equal -2, I will not select it. So I'm saying, okay, I have x times y plus z divided by y, and then I have to have -8. Is that -2? It is not, so we don't select it. I can hit clear. I can hit x plus 8x over y, and then I say -4. Is that -2? It is not, so I don't select that one either. Clear. Let's do negative 5x plus 8x over y minus 12. That's a negative 6, which is not what we need. Okay, clear. Let's try this bottom row. What about, again, make sure it looks exactly as it does in the problem. So I have, in parentheses, negative 3x plus a negative 2y minus z is going to be negative 18, which is not the case. I'll double check on that one in just a second as well. So let me actually start a new line because I want to come back to that one. What about 8x minus y? And then I have all of this, so I can highlight that and say, all right, I want to divide that by z. And I have plus y over z. That's negative 1, so that doesn't work either. Oh man, this is not looking good for us. How about that last one? What about x times y? And I have minus, and then I have in parentheses, let's do square root of z. I can have divided by negative x, and I subtract y at the very end. That's also not negative 2, so none of these apparently work. Might have to come back to this one and double check, but for right now, we're at least seeing how that works. So we said we were looking for negative 2, so it still has those values in there. I'll double check on those, but at least for the time being, we saw what we had. All right, I'm gonna keep moving on because I want to make sure that we get through all of this. So let's have